the pulsating heart of Laker Nation, where dreams are forged from steel and hope, there was a boy who dared to defy the odds. His name was Kobe Bryant, a name that would soon echo through the annals of basketball history, etched in gold. But before the 5 NBA championship rings, before the 18 All-Star selections, before the 4 MVP awards and 15 All-NBA team nods, there was only an indomitable spirit and a relentless pursuit of greatness. My name is Elizabeth, and today I am telling you the story of Kobe Bryant. Born on August 23, 1978, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to Joe Jellybean Bryant and Pamela Cox Bryant, Kobe was destined for basketball greatness from an early age. By the tender age of 6, he had already mastered the fundamentals of the game under his father's watchful eye. Yet, it was not just his raw talent that set him apart at 2014, it was his unyielding determination and fierce competitive spirit. Kobe's journey to stardom began when the Bryant family moved west to Italy, where Joe played professional basketball. It was here that Kobe joined the junior team of a local club at age 13. The Italian league was no place for the faint-hearted, and Kobe quickly learned that if he wanted to survive, he would have to grow up fast. As Kobe navigated the choppy waters of adolescence on an ocean far from home, he faced challenges that few teenagers could ever imagine. From the isolation of living in a foreign land to the harsh realities of competitive sports, Kobe's resolve was tested time and again. But each obstacle only served to fuel his desire to prove himself /2014 to show the world that he belonged among the giants of the game. It is said that when Kobe finally made it back to the United States, joining the prestigious Lower Merion High School in suburban Philadelphia, he was already a force to be reckoned with. He averaged a staggering 28 points per game, leading his team to victory after victory. Yet, even as accolades and attention poured in, Kobe remained focused on one thing: becoming the best basketball player the world had ever seen. Drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers with the 13th overall pick in the 1996 NBA draft, Kobe was thrust into a spotlight he had never before experienced. But he was ready /2014 ready to prove that he belonged among the legends of the game. And so, he worked tirelessly, honing his skills and pushing himself beyond the limits of human endurance. Kobe's journey with the Lakers was marked by a fierce rivalry with Shaq O'Neal, a tumultuous partnership that would ultimately lead to their shared glory. Through years of struggle and sacrifice, they forged a bond that transcended basketball /2014, a bond that would help them claim 5 NBA championships together. Off the court, Kobe was no less driven. He was a husband, a father, a mentor, and an advocate for the game he loved. But even as his star continued to shine brighter than ever before, Kobe never lost sight of who he was /2014, a boy from Philadelphia who dared to defy the odds. In 2016, tragedy struck when a helicopter carrying Kobe, his daughter Jaina, and 7 others crashed in Calabasas, California. The world mourned the loss of a legend, a hero, a father, and a friend. But even as the shockwaves reverberated through the sports world, one thing remained clear: Kobe's legacy would live on forever. Today, as we remember Kobe Bryant, let us not forget his indomitable spirit, his relentless pursuit of greatness, and the unbreakable bond he shared with the game of basketball. Let us celebrate a life lived to its fullest /2014, a life that serves as an inspiration for generations to come. My name is Elizabeth, and today I have told you the story of Kobe Bryant. In the humble confines of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, a story began to unfold, one that would captivate millions around the globe. Born on August 23, 1978, Kobe Bryant was the product of a household steeped in resilience and dreams. His parents, Joe Jellybean Bryant and Pamela Cox Bryant, were not just his guardians, they were his pillars, his foundation, the silent architects of his destiny. The Bryant home was a crucible forged in the fires of hardship. Born to an African-American father and a white mother, their interracial relationship cast a long shadow over their family life. The stigma that accompanied them was as oppressive as the economic struggles that threatened to consume them. Yet, through it all, Kobe's parents found solace in each other, a bond forged by shared dreams and unyielding resolve. Joe Bryant, a former NBA player, imbued in his son a love for basketball from an early age. He saw potential in the young Kobe, not just as an athlete, but as a force that could transcend their hardships. The court became their sanctuary, a place where they could escape the harsh realities of their world and lose themselves in the rhythmic dance of the game. Pamela, on the other hand, was a survivor. She had endured heartbreak and hardship, but she refused to let these trials define her. Instead, she channeled her resilience into nurturing Kobe's dreams. When Joe was away on his travels as a professional basketball player, Pamela was the rock that held their family together, the beacon of love that guided Kobe through even the darkest times. The Bryants' story was one of sacrifice and quiet determination. They gave up opportunities for themselves so that Kobe could chase his dreams. They moved from city to city, following Joe's career, always striving to give their son the best chance at success. It was a journey filled with adversity, but it was also a testament to their unwavering love and belief in their son. In the Bryant household, Kobe's dreams were not just tolerated, they were encouraged. His parents saw something special in him, a spark that needed to be nurtured and cultivated. They knew he was destined for greatness, but they also knew that greatness wouldn't come without sacrifice. And so the stage was set. The foundation had been laid. All that remained was for Kobe Bryant to step onto it, to embrace his destiny, and to write his own story. Little did they know, the journey would be one filled with triumph, heartbreak, and redemption. A journey that would forever change not just Kobe, but a nation captivated by his indomitable spirit. In the muggy summer nights of Philadelphia, nestled within the heartbeat of a city teeming with dreams and ambition, a child named Kobe Bryant made his entrance into the world. Born on August 23, 1978, in a hospital that echoed with the cries of newborns and expectant parents, Kobe's arrival was as unassuming as the city he hailed from. His father, Joe Jellybean Bryant, a former NBA player, held his son for the first time, feeling a strange mixture of pride and trepidation, as if the future was already whispering secrets into the infant's ears. As Kobe grew up in suburban Rosedale, he found solace on the hardwood courts that dotted the neighborhood. The rough-hewn asphalt beneath his feet and the steel rims above seemed to resonate with a rhythm that mirrored his own unyielding spirit. He was a sprightly child, full of energy and curiosity, with eyes that gleamed with determination even in their youthful innocence. The Bryant household was not an easy one. Financial difficulties plagued the family, and Kobe's parents divorced when he was just 6 years old. But amidst the chaos, young Kobe discovered a sanctuary in basketball. He clung to it like a lifeline, pouring every scrap of his boundless energy into honing his skills on those sun-scorched courts. It wasn't long before Kobe's talents began to manifest. His coaches marveled at his tenacity, the way he attacked every challenge with an unyielding ferocity that belied his tender years. He was a fighter. Even then, his young fists clenched tight in defiance against whatever life threw at him. One day, as Kobe careened through a pickup game, his knee skidded across the gritty court, sending pain shooting up his leg. The other players hollered in concern, but Kobe just grit his teeth and got back up, dusting himself off with a fire that seemed to burn brighter than the summer sun. It was moments like these that hinted at the greatness lurking within the boy from Philadelphia, a greatness that would someday shake the very foundations of the NBA. But for now, Kobe just kept fighting /up 2014 and dreaming. In the labyrinthine corridors of the Staples Center, where the shadows danced with echoes of triumphs past, a solitary figure stood, his eyes reflecting a kaleidoscope of emotions, determination, sorrow, regret, and resilience. This was Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba, an athlete whose name would forever be etched in the annals of basketball history. Yet, beyond the accolades and achievements, there lay a tapestry of intrigue, betrayal, love stories, and personal demons that wove their way into the fabric of his being. The first thread in this intricate pattern was the bond he shared with Shaquille O'Neal, a friendship forged on the hardwood floor yet shattered by the cold realities of ambition and rivalry. They had been an unstoppable duo, their chemistry transcending mere teamwork to become a spectacle that left audiences in awe. But as time passed, the cracks began to show. A power struggle ensued, and Kobe found himself at odds with his closest ally. The betrayal cut deep, but it was a catalyst for growth. Another thread wound its way through the heartache of loss. On January 26, 2003, Kobe's daughter Gianna was born, and she quickly became the source of immeasurable joy in his life. Tragically, on January 26, 2020, a day that would forever haunt him, Gianna died in a helicopter crash alongside 7 others, including Kobe himself. The pain was indescribable, yet it served as a reminder of the love that bound them together and fueled his relentless pursuit of greatness. Loneliness was another demon that Kobe wrestled with, a byproduct of fame and a demanding career that left little room for intimacy or connection. He found solace in the arms of Vanessa Lane, a woman who saw past the shield he erected around himself and embraced him fully. Their love story, fraught with challenges and trials, was one of resilience and commitment. Together they navigated the tumultuous waters of fame, scandal, and loss, their bond growing stronger with each passing storm. Fame, too, became a double-edged sword for Kobe. At times it felt like an unyielding embrace, fueling his ambition and driving him to new heights. But at other moments it threatened to suffocate him, leaving him grappling with feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. Yet he refused to be defined by those moments of vulnerability, instead using them as fuel for his fire, pushing himself harder and reaching ever higher. Through it all, Kobe persevered, his spirit unbroken and his resolve unyielding. He was an athlete who transcended the game, a man whose story spoke to the very essence of what it meant to be human. His journey, one of struggle, triumph, sacrifice, and personal redemption, would forever serve as a testament to the indomitable spirit that resides within each of us. In the unforgiving crucible of Los Angeles, a prodigy named Kobe Bean Bryant was nurtured, molded, and ultimately forged in the fires of ambition. Born to parents Joe Jellybean Bryant and Pamela Cox, Kobe was destined to dance with giants from an early age. The Bryant household was a sanctuary of basketball dreams where the ball never rested, and every dribble, shot, and rebound was a testament to a shared legacy. At the tender age of 6, Kobe donned his first pair of sneakers backsage at 2013, his weapons of choice in this relentless pursuit of greatness. With a passion that defied reason, he immersed himself in the game, finding solace and purpose amidst the cacophony of concrete courts and echoing gymnasiums. His father, a former NBA player, was his first mentor, instilling in him the virtues of hard work, discipline, and an unyielding will to succeed. Kobe's rise to fame, however, was not a straightforward ascent. He faced adversity at every corner, from the skepticism of coaches and teammates who doubted his potential to the cruel whispers of critics who belittled his size and youth. Yet, it was these very obstacles that fueled Kobe's insatiable hunger for greatness. As a teenager, Kobe played for Lower Merion High School, where he shattered records, broke barriers and established himself as one of the most promising young talents in America. His journey took him to the NBA via the 1996 draft, where the mighty Los Angeles Lakers made him the 13th overall pick. It was a moment that would forever change the course of his life. Upon arriving in LA, Kobe found himself in the shadow of Shaq O'Neal / 2013, a titan whose presence threatened to overshadow the young phenom. But Kobe was not one to back down from a challenge. He honed his skills during countless hours of solitude, perfecting his craft and pushing the limits of what his body could endure. The Lakers' road to success was fraught with trials and tribulations. It required sacrifice / 2013 late nights spent poring over game film, endless sprints up the Staples Center stairs, and a relentless pursuit of perfection that left many breathless in its wake. Yet, Kobe reveled in this crucible, finding solace in the grind and embracing the pain as a badge of honor. Through years of blood, sweat, and tears, Kobe's dreams slowly transformed into reality. He became an integral part of the Lakers dynasty, earning 5 NBA championships, 18 All-Star appearances, and countless accolades that cemented his place in basketball history. Yet, for all his achievements, Kobe never lost sight of his humble beginnings or the unwavering support of those who believed in him when no one else did. He carried their love and encouragement with him like a shield, warding off the naysayers and critics who sought to diminish his dreams. In the annals of basketball lore, Kobe Bryant stands as an eternal testament to the power of ambition, resilience, and the indomitable human spirit. His story is one of triumph over adversity, a beacon of hope for those who dare to dream beyond the boundaries of conventional wisdom. As we bear witness to his extraordinary journey, let us remember that within each of us lies the potential for greatness / 2013 if only we have the courage to chase it. In the twilight of a storied career, Kobe Bryant stood at the precipice of greatness, his eyes locked on an unyielding horizon that seemed to mock his every attempt to conquer it. The Los Angeles Lakers' storied arena, the Staples Center, was a cauldron of anticipation and anxiety as the clock wound down towards tip-off, the tension palpable in the air like a thunderhead poised to burst. The man who once donned the jersey with the number 8 / 2014, a nod to his admiration for Michael Jordan / 2014, bore the mantle of the mighty number 24. His shoulders, once broad and unbending, bore the weight of expectation and the echoes of past triumphs. Yet beneath that armor of steel there pulsed a heart filled with a restless yearning, a longing to prove his worth once more in the face of mounting adversity. The years had not been kind to Kobe Bryant. A litany of injuries had marred his once invincible physique, each setback threatening to extinguish the burning flame that fueled his relentless pursuit of excellence. A torn Achilles tendon, a fractured knee, and a torn rotator cuff / 2014 these were but a few of the formidable foes he had faced and vanquished in a grueling battle for survival. But it was not just his body that bore the scars of war. His spirit, too, had been battered and bruised by the cold, unforgiving hand of fate. His marriage had crumbled beneath the weight of scandal, a public disgrace that threatened to cast a pall over his achievements on the court. The media, ever vigilant in its quest for sensationalism, descended upon him like a pack of vultures, tearing at the fabric of his life with razor-sharp talons and insatiable hunger for the next juicy morsel. Yet, within the darkness of that cold, unforgiving world, there flickered the ember of hope / 2014 faintest glimmer of a brighter tomorrow. And it was this tantalizing promise that drove Kobe to persevere, to rise from the ashes like a phoenix reborn and take flight once more towards the elusive summit of greatness. In the crucible of adversity, Kobe Bryant forged his true metal. He emerged from the fires of struggle and strife a hardened warrior. his spirit tempered by the fiery trials he had faced. With every setback he learned to rise stronger and wiser, more resilient in the face of adversity. And as he took to the court once more, a steely determination etched upon his face, the world stood transfixed, unable to look away from the spectacle of heroism unfolding before their very eyes. The Lakers stormed onto the court with a ferocity born of desperation and defiance, their every movement a testament to Kobe's indomitable spirit. As he soared through the air, his silken limbs a blur of motion, the crowd roared its approval, the collective heartbeat of Los Angeles thundering in time with each pounding step he took. And then it happened, up 1014 moment that would etch itself indelibly into the annals of NBA history. With mere seconds ticking away, Kobe caught the ball on the wing, his eyes locked onto the basket with a single-minded focus that brooked no distraction. The world seemed to hold its breath as he launched himself skyward, defying gravity itself in a breathtaking display of skill and raw athleticism. Time seemed to stretch out like taffy as Kobe soared through the air, his muscles straining beneath his skin as he willed himself ever higher. And then, with a grace born of countless hours spent perfecting his craft, he released the ball, watching in ecstatic rapture as it arced through the air and swished through the net. The crowd erupted into thunderous applause, the sound waves washing over Kobe like a tidal wave as he sank to his knees on the court, tears streaming down his face. In that moment, as he looked up at the heavens and offered a silent prayer of thanks, Kobe Bryant knew that he had triumphed once more up 2014, not just in the game, but in the struggle that had defined his very existence. And so it was that on this hallowed court, under the watching eyes of millions around the world, Kobe Bryant danced with the gods themselves, a modern-day gladiator who defied the odds and conquered his own destiny. His story was one of struggle and triumph, sacrifice and redemption up 2014, a testament to the indomitable spirit that dwells within each and every one of us, waiting to be unleashed upon an unsuspecting world. As the years rolled on and Kobe's once youthful visage grew weary with the passage of time, he continued to push himself ever harder, driven by a relentless hunger for greatness that refused to be sated. And in his final moments on the court, as the buzzer sounded one last time and the arena fell silent in reverence, Kobe Bryant knew that he had left an indelible mark upon the world up 2014, a legacy of courage, determination, and unwavering resolve that would inspire generations to come. For Kobe Bryant was more than just a basketball player, he was a symbol of hope, a beacon of light in a world often shrouded in darkness. He was a man who defied the odds, who rose from the ashes like a phoenix reborn and soared towards the heavens on wings of fire. And as his final breath left him and he took his place among the immortals, Kobe Bryant's story would live on up 2014, a testament to the power of the human spirit and a reminder that even in the face of adversity, there is always hope. In the hallowed sanctum of the Staples Center, beneath the glittering chandeliers and the deafening roar of 18,997 souls, Kobe Bryant stood poised at the free throw line. The city held its collective breath as time ticked away in the final seconds of overtime, the game hanging delicately in the balance, teetering on the precipice between triumph and defeat. For 20 years, Kobe had been waging a relentless battle against the giants of basketball, his every sinew forged in the crucible of sweat, blood, and tears. His journey was marked by a fierce determination that defied logic, a will to win that transcended mere athletic prowess. He had faced the bitter taste of failure, the sting of betrayal, and the crushing weight of unfulfilled promises. Yet through it all, Kobe stood resolute, his eyes burning with an unquenchable fire that refused to be extinguished. Now, as he stared down at the glistening ball, the cold sweat trickling down his forehead, he felt the echoes of 1,000 battles reverberating through the depths of his soul. He was the Black Mamba, a creature of legend and myth, feared and revered in equal measure. And as the clock wound down to zero, Kobe knew that this moment, this final act of redemption, would be the crowning achievement of a career forged on the anvil of sacrifice. The silence stretched out like a chasm, yawning wide and swallowing the very air around them. The crowd seemed to hold its breath, as if afraid to disturb the fragile equilibrium that hung between victory and defeat. And then, as the buzzer sounded, Kobe Bryant rose into the ether, his body moving in a graceful, fluid dance that belied the fury of his will. The ball arced through the air, spinning like a top as it left Kobe's hands and soared toward the basket. Time seemed to slow down, stretching out like taffy as Kobe watched his destiny hurtle toward its inevitable conclusion. And then, with a thunderous roar that shook the very foundations of the arena, the ball dropped through the hoop, securing victory for the Lakers and etching Kobe's name into the annals of basketball history. In that moment, as the crowd erupted in a cacophony of cheers and tears flowed freely down countless faces, Kobe Bryant knew that he had conquered not just the game, but himself. He had faced his demons, vanquished his doubts, and emerged from the crucible of battle stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever before. For Kobe, this was not just a win backslash up 14, it was everything he had ever fought for, wrapped into one unforgettable day. It was proof that even in the darkest nights, there is always the promise of dawn, and that no matter how insurmountable the odds may seem, there is always hope. And as Kobe Bryant walked off the court, his eyes alight with the fire of 1,000 suns, he knew that he had become more than just a player backslash at 2014, he had become a legend. In the twilight of his illustrious career, Kobe Bryant found himself grappling with a new adversary, time. The Black Mamba, once a fearsome force on the basketball court, was now feeling the relentless march of the years. It was a battle he had never anticipated, one that threatened to tarnish his legend. The arena, once a sanctuary, now felt like an alien territory. His body, once a finely tuned machine, creaked and groaned with each passing day. The pain, a constant companion, was a bitter reminder of the wear and tear his body had endured over the years. Yet, Kobe refused to succumb. He fought, clawed, and scrapped, determined to reclaim his throne. The crowd, once on their feet with every leap and bound, now watched in silent anticipation. His teammates, once partners in victory, were now silent witnesses to his struggle. But Kobe was not alone. His family stood by his side, their unwavering support a beacon of hope in the face of adversity. In the crucible of decline, Kobe discovered a new purpose. He poured his heart and soul into mentoring the younger players, imparting wisdom gleaned from a lifetime of sweat, sacrifice, and stardom. He became a teacher, sharing not just his skills but also his unyielding work ethic and insatiable hunger for greatness. Off the court, Kobe's identity evolved. He donned new roles: husband, father, philanthropist, and storyteller. He founded the Kobe Bryant Foundation, dedicated to empowering the youth through education and athletics. He penned heartfelt letters to his fans, sharing his journey and inspiring millions with his raw honesty and unwavering spirit. As the curtain fell on his career, Kobe left behind a legacy that transcended basketball. He was more than just a player, he was an icon, a symbol of resilience, determination, and unbridled passion. But one question still lingers in the minds of fans: was it enough? Did Kobe Bryant leave behind a legacy that would echo through the annals of time, a testament to the indomitable spirit of the Black Mamba? In the quiet hush of the night, Kobe stood at the edge of the court, his silhouette etched against the setting sun. His eyes, filled with a mix of pain, pride, and peace, looked out at the arena that had been his home for so long. The echoes of cheers, the roar of the crowd, and the clink of the basketball were now just memories, but they were memories that would last a lifetime. As he walked away, leaving behind the court, the fans, and the game, Kobe Bryant carried with him not just his legend, but also the spirit of the underdog, a spirit that embodied struggle, triumph, sacrifice, and personal redemption, the very essence of the American dream. And as the sun set on the horizon, it seemed to whisper a silent farewell, a testament to a life lived in the pursuit of greatness. As I close this chapter in our shared journey with Kobe Bryant, my heart swells with a mix of sadness and admiration for the indomitable spirit he embodied. His tale is etched into the annals of basketball history, but more profoundly, it resonates within us ordinary individuals who dare to dream beyond the confines of our present reality. Kobe's story was not just about 5 NBA championships or his unparalleled skill on the court. It transcended those accolades and became a testament to resilience, determination, and an insatiable thirst for greatness that we can all learn from. In our darkest moments, let us remember his unwavering resolve to rise above adversity, his fierce passion for the game, and his undying love for those around him. If you found solace in Kobe's story, I'd invite you to join me on this continuing voyage of human spirit, where we celebrate the underdogs, the dreamers, and those who remind us that there is always a chance to change our world. Subscribe to our channel or return for more stories. Together, let us continue to honor Kobe's legacy by embracing our own challenges with courage and humility. Until next time, dear listener, remember to dream big, work hard, and never give up on what you believe in, just like Kobe Bryant did.